Welcome back to our channel where we share with you the most important and interesting information from around the world. And today we have something very special for you. In this video, you will get to see Jordan Peterson, one of the most influential people in the world, talking about an extremely important topic that affects all of us at some point or another. But before we get into the details, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Also, if you are new here, ring the bell to be notified every time a new video is posted. Now let's begin. Hey everyone. Jordan Peterson says, fix yourself because it might just be too late. In a recent interview, the clinical psychologist and author Jordan Peterson has said that modern men need to fix themselves, as society may soon not be able to fix them anymore. This statement came after Peterson was asked how he would summarize his thoughts on the state of the world right now. Without mincing his words, Peterson laid down the truth as he usually does and gave a piece of advice that can change your life forever. I think the biggest problem facing men right now is they haven't fixed themselves yet, Peterson began, and there is a good chance that society won't be able to fix them much longer. He then went on to cite rampant drug addiction and suicide among young men as examples of what's wrong with the world. We're seeing massive increases in the suicide rate among young men, young people generally, but especially young men, he said. That's tragic. And it's driven largely by a sense of hopelessness, a sense that things aren't going to get better. A profound lack of meaning in the sense that you're not living in accordance with what you believe and what you value, and that you're being coerced in some way into adopting values that are alien to you and that you don't even believe in. He then added that the drug addiction crisis among men is a direct result of them trying to escape reality and deal with their problems. The drug problem is a problem of despair, Peterson continued. People want to die. They're taking massive amounts of drugs and they're committing suicide. And that's across the board. That's not just a subculture issue. That's a widespread issue. So what should men do according to Peterson? How can they fix themselves? To answer this question, he told the interviewer that they need to take responsibility for their actions and not be victims of circumstances. He also said they should strive to be the best version of themselves possible and live according to their values and beliefs. Well, I guess my suggestion to men would be, fix yourselves because it might just be too late, Peterson said. There's a real possibility that society won't be able to fix you anymore, which means that you have to take responsibility for your own damn self, which is really difficult because we've been moving in a direction for some time of increasing irresponsibility. People are incentivized not to take responsibility for themselves, so that's the big challenge. I do want to know how you solve that problem except to say fix yourself because it might just be too late. As usual, Peterson didn't hold back in his statements, and although his message might be hard to hear, it's still important to acknowledge the truth in his words. We live in a day and age where everyone is quick to blame others for their problems or external factors beyond their control. But the reality is that we all have a role to play in creating our own lives and happiness. No one else can do it for us. It's easy to feel like a victim when things aren't going our way. But as Peterson has pointed out, this is not a sustainable way to live. If we want to make positive changes in our lives, we must take responsibility for ourselves and our actions. This is easier said than done though. Taking responsibility for ourselves can be challenging, especially when we're surrounded by people and media that are constantly telling us that we're not enough. We're often bombarded with messages telling us to buy more stuff, consume more media, or to take the easy way out. But as Peterson has said, we have to fix ourselves because it might just be too late. In order to fix ourselves, we must first become aware of the problems that need fixing. This can be difficult to do when we're in the thick of things and don't have the proper perspective. Sometimes we need someone to point out the issues we're facing so that we can see them more clearly. This is why Jordan Peterson's message is so important. He's not afraid to speak the truth, even if it's not always pleasant to hear. He's willing to have difficult conversations and tackle tough subjects head-on because he knows that this is the only way to make progress. So what are some of the things that we can do to fix ourselves? According to Peterson, one of the most important things we can do is to become more aware of our thought patterns and beliefs. He often talks about the dangers of negative thinking and how it can lead to destructive behavior. When we start to believe that we're victims and that life is meaningless, we begin to act in ways that are harmful to ourselves and others. The first step to fixing ourselves is to become aware of these negative thoughts and beliefs and start questioning them. Are they really true? Are they helpful? Do they serve a purpose? If the answer is no, then it's time to let them go and replace them with more positive and constructive thoughts. Another thing we can do to fix ourselves is to take more responsibility for our actions. As Peterson has said, we live in a culture that encourages irresponsibility. We're constantly being told that it's not our fault when things go wrong and that we should be held accountable for our mistakes. But the truth is that this kind of thinking only leads to more problems. When we refuse to take responsibility for our actions, we're essentially giving up our power. We're allowing others to control us by making excuses for our behavior. To fix ourselves, we have to start taking responsibility for everything that happens in our lives. This doesn't mean that we should beat ourselves up over our mistakes, but it does mean that we should acknowledge them and learn from them. We all make mistakes, but it's what we do next that really matters. Do we make excuses and let them control us, or do we take responsibility and move forward? Fixing ourselves isn't an easy task, but it's definitely worth it. When we take the time to work on ourselves and become the best versions of ourselves, we not only improve our own lives, but the lives of those around us as well. We become more positive, constructive members of society who are capable of making a real difference. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button below to show your support. We would really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on any of our future uploads. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning. We hope you have a great day.